Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we are joined by Dr. Swathi, who is a pharmacist who specializes in integrative health and cannabis. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your
Oh, thank
time.
you
I'm
for
so
having
excited to
me.
catch up. Yeah. So, you have a very impressive resume. So, I will let you
Thank you.
introduce yourself and tell us about what you do and how you got into cannabis.
Yeah, sure. So I guess it all started at the end of pharmacy school. I had a chance to do a rotation at an integrative pharmacy. And I'd always been interested in holistic health and wellness and nutrition and everything plant medicine. But I didn't know a pharmacist that was doing that until I found my then preceptor and now residency program director, who I've been working with for now over a year. Can't believe like how much time has passed already. So we decided to start the first postgraduate year one residency for pharmacists that specializes in integrative medicine and cannabis. And that's been an incredible experience between like networking, being able to work with students. We have like anywhere from like 1 to 4 students at a time that come into the pharmacy. So we get to work with them, we get to mentor them. Then we even get to go to universities and give lectures, whether that's like guest lectures, or this past semester we taught 2 entire like long semester classes, which is great.
Wow.
A lot of work, but really, really, really rewarding working with the students, seeing how they like progress throughout the semester. So that was really nice. So we do a lot of education, a lot of teaching, mentoring. And then we're at the pharmacy, but then I also have an opportunity to go to an HIV clinic and work with patients there. So I'm
Oh,
the
wow.
pharmacist on the team there. I get to see my own patients, talk about all their meds. I ask them to bring their huge bag of meds and we can chat about all of them. Um, or I just like field questions from the team depending on the day. So yeah, I try to do a lot of like different things and keep it varied. I started working with quite a few CBD hemp brands like in the last year. And so I either serve as their medical expert if they have questions or their customers have questions, or I do any sort of content that they're looking for that kind of has like the medical or like scientific spin.
That's great.
Oh, thanks.
Yes. And then that's such a valuable a part of your work because being
Mhm.
in the cannabis hemp space myself, that just validates all of the information for consumers because we are so limited in what we can say.
Definitely.
For those that may not know, can you give a quick definition of what integrative health means?
Oh yeah, definitely. So integrative health really is like, I think it's so perfectly named. It's just integrating all the modalities together. And so like the modalities of different types and methodologies of medicine. So there's the conventional side, so the prescription side, the stuff that you would like get the little prescription, go to the pharmacy. There's that side. But then it's also that in concert with natural products, like all the like dietary supplements, herbs, so Eastern and Western herbs, homeopathy, cannabis, of course, and then also talking about different things that like different lifestyle strategies like sleep hygiene,
Mm.
which I think is so important, especially
Yes.
now. And then also like meditation and mindfulness, also very important now, something we've been talking about quite a bit with our students.
Oh, wow. Love
Mhm.
that. What has been, how have you been most impacted right now? And what has been the biggest shift or adjustment that you've had to make during COVID-19?
The biggest shift I would have to say is just not being able to go to the pharmacy or going to the clinic. And unfortunately, the clinic is closed down right now, so I haven't even had
Mm.
a chance to like interact with those patients. But we still are having students on rotation, and so we have 1 to 2 to 3 Zoom meetings a day to keep everyone in. Kind of like on course of everything that's supposed to be happening, keep everyone on track. And so that has been probably the biggest difference, is not being able to interact with the students one-on-one and not being able to see my program director that I normally see like at least 3 to 4 times a week. So yeah, I think that's just the difference, is communicating virtually versus communicating in person.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Mhm.
definitely a new thing for a lot of people. And I think everyone's learning a lot of new tricks and tools and best
Yeah.
practices and
Hmm.
things like that.
Definitely.
Something that has been positive that's come out of what's going on right now is that cannabis has been at the forefront of conversation, being
Yeah.
considered an essential business in a lot of states, which is really exciting.
So
On the
great.
other
Hmm.
hand, there is a lot of misinformation out there and people saying the wrong things about what cannabis can do for us and our
Right.
immune system. So, from your
Hmm.
professional opinion, can cannabis help improve our immune system? How does it interact with our immune system? And can it be used for health?
Yeah, so CBD has been shown to be anti-inflammatory. Other minor cannabinoids as well, but I think CBD is like the most prevalent space right now. So CBD has been shown to be anti-inflammatory, which is incredible for so many disease states. So many disease states now are being thought of as being inflammatory diseases. So just in terms of that, it's great. Also, CBD can interact with the immune system through a receptor called CB2, very specific, but otherwise it can be very impactful for just like supporting the immune system. So I think that like taking CBD would be a great idea. I don't think it would be detrimental necessarily. I think it could be helpful. But of course, like there's more research needed when it comes to that. So we don't 100% know, but like from our like clinical discretion, it's something that could definitely be an option for patients looking to support their immune system. There are also other great like natural supplements too that could also help in concert with that.
Yeah, my next question was going to be outside of the well-known things to help our immune system, like getting
Mhm.
sleep, eating healthy,
Yes,
exercise.
definitely.
What are some other lesser known things that we should all be doing on a regular basis to help keep our immune system strong all year round?
Ooh. I was actually gonna say, like, I think staying active is really important, eating healthy, all of that stuff that you mentioned. But apart from that, I would say, like, being able to, like, keep those relationships and everything that you've had beforehand, being able to, like, have the virtual relationships and everything still, like, I like the idea of everyone saying, or not everyone, but I heard the people using not social distancing, but physical distancing. So still having that
Oh,
social,
okay.
intimate connection, but not having it just be physical, right? So I think that that's really important. And then I would also say like headspace in general is really important.
Hmm.
So that could come back to like meditation and mindfulness. And then also just being grateful every day for what you have. I think that COVID and everything has put a lot of things into perspective for people just appreciating what they do have and what really matters and what you can live without and what you like feel like you necessarily need.
Yes, absolutely. I've
Mhm.
always been an advocate for, wellness and mindfulness in the workplace, and I
Yeah.
think that that is one positive that's coming out of all this is people are focusing a lot on that because it is really important, especially if
Hmm.
you're home isolated. It's important, like you said, to reach out and
Hmm.
continue that interaction with people, even if it is virtually.
Exactly.
So, what advice do you have for someone who may be interested in trying cannabis or CBD for the first time, but doesn't know where to start? Maybe they're scared. They've
Hmm.
heard, maybe have a bad taste in their mouth from a bad experience, or
Hmm.
there's still this stigma surrounding it. So, what advice do you have for
Hmm.
someone who kind of wants to get their feet wet?
Yeah, so I would say start looking into what's been published out there. Go to brands that you trust or brands that you've heard that are great and have put out and have that kind of like educational arm of their companies, so they're devoted to that side. I would say start looking there. Also, see if you can connect with any cannabis specialists or cannabis practitioners. I think that that would be a great place to start with, just helping them guide you from the beginning through your entire treatment journey, your healing journey. So I think that that could be helpful. And then also just not being bogged down by the stigma. So much of the stigma comes from the criminalization, or rather the unfair criminalization
Hmm.
of cannabis. So I think that not being bogged down in that, but having an open mind and looking into all the resources that are available, whether that's, the specialists or what's been published. And then also, I think what is really important is figuring out why you're interested in integrating it
Mm.
into your regimen or your daily life. Is it like overall health and wellness? Is it like for a specific disease state? Is it for, something that you're taking a medication for that you're hoping to stop so that you could take cannabis instead or as an adjunct? So yeah, I think all of those things together on my rant.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Understanding why you're looking to use it. That's a great
Hmm.
question to ask yourself. If there was one thing that you could teach people about cannabis, or one thing you would want everyone to know, what would it be?
That's a great question. I don't think I've been asked that before.
Oh, good.
Um, One thing that I want everyone to know, hmm, there's so many things. I mean, I just really want people to understand that it's not like I know it is a Schedule 1 substance by the DEA, so it's controlled. And by Schedule 1, that means that it doesn't have any therapeutic value at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to just debunk that to start. And then I guess that would also start with like the appreciation of plant medicine as like the whole plant, and like really realizing that it's something that's been used for thousands and thousands of years, even like BC. So I think starting from there, like just starting with like the facts and the history. Yeah.
That's a great start. I love that. So we were talking about, getting down back to the basics and having only our essential items and only being able to go out and get our essential items. What have you discovered has been something that you just can't live without during this quarantine time?
I think something that I didn't expect that I would really, really like is like getting back into a routine. Because some days, like if I'm not going to clinic, or like I have a research day or something like that, or on a Saturday I'm working on a project, like so much of my schedule is so varied. And I thought that that was something that was like a pro to my schedule, but actually realizing now of having a routine has been really nice and like very like centering in a way.
Yeah.
So that was new for me.
Good one. I like that one. And is there a brand or a business that you've seen that has pivoted or done a really good job with what they're doing right now during COVID-19?
I mean, I don't know if I want to single out a brand necessarily, but if I'm thinking about like the different industries, I was very like pleasantly surprised with how the fashion industry responded. There are brands like I know like Gucci and Prada, for example, are two of them, where they started making masks and donating them, donating money. Some of their workers donating their time, like that type of a thing. I think was like a very pleasant surprise. I know that there's so many other great companies, whether like local or massive, that have really been trying. But that was a nice surprise for me.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks
People
so much
like
for
you
having
are
me.
people like you are so important during this time, especially with all of the misinformation out there. So how can we support you? Where do you spend your time online? I know you have a webinar coming up that I will post the details about.
Yeah, so the webinar is called How to Talk to Your Provider About Cannabis. And so that's tips and tricks on how to start that conversation with your provider if that is something that you're interested in integrating into your daily life. So that is going to be on Sunday. So check it out. It's going to be exciting. And then also, I would just say add me on LinkedIn. I love to connect on LinkedIn and meet people in a similar space, or someone who's just interested in learning more. And then also my website is www.drswathi.com. So DOCTORSWATHI.com is another great place. I just post some of my recent things and everything on there.
Yeah, I love all of your content. Thank you for all of the amazing work that you're doing. Please continue doing such amazing work. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Cheers to you. Thank you.
Cheers.